Everyone knows that Iblis refused to bow to Adam, but almost no one asks the deeper question, why? Because it wasn't just disobedience, it was something much more dangerous, something that still exists today, inside people. Let me tell you a story. Imagine being among the most devoted in worship, constantly ibad, constantly remembering Allah. Imagine being elevated, honored, surrounded by angels. This was Iblis. He wasn't always what people think of today. He was not always seen as evil. In fact, he worshipped Allah so much that he was raised to a high rank. He stood among the angels, he was respected, he was devoted. But one moment changed everything. Allah created Adam, a new creation made from clay, as mentioned in the Qur'an in Surah Al-Hijr 15:26. And then Allah commanded something that would test not just obedience, but the heart. Allah told the angels to bow to Adam, as mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:34, and every single one of them obeyed immediately, except one, Iblis. Now pause for a moment. This is where most people misunderstand the story. They think this was just about refusing a command, but it was deeper than that, because Iblis did not say, I don't understand. He did not say, I made a mistake. He said something else. As Allah tells us in Surah Al-A'raf 7:12, He said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. In that one sentence, you see the real problem. It wasn't confusion, it was arrogance, and this is where the psychology becomes powerful. Arrogance is not just thinking highly of yourself, it is rejecting the truth because it doesn't match how you see yourself. Iblis knew Allah's command was true. He heard it directly. There was no doubt, but his ego could not accept it, because in his mind he was superior. He compared, and comparison led to pride, and pride led to rejection. Think about this carefully. The truth was clear, the command was clear, but his heart refused to submit. Not because of lack of knowledge, but because of ego. And this is something the Prophet ﷺ warned about very clearly. In an authentic hadith in Sahih Muslim, he said, no one who has even an atom's weight of arrogance in their heart will enter paradise. And when asked about arrogance, he explained that it is rejecting the truth and looking down on people. And that is exactly what Iblis did. He rejected the truth and he placed himself above Adam. And this is something that still happens today. How many times do people hear the truth, but reject it because it hurts their pride? Someone is corrected, and instead of accepting it, they become defensive. Someone is advised, and instead of listening, they argue, not because the truth is unclear, but because accepting it would mean admitting they were wrong. And the nafs hates that. The nafs wants to feel superior. It wants to feel right. It wants to protect its image. And this is exactly what destroyed Iblis. It wasn't lack of worship. It wasn't lack of knowledge. It was arrogance. And arrogance blinds the heart. It makes a person see themselves as above correction, above truth, above obedience. And once that happens, the fall begins. After Iblis refused, Allah asked him, as mentioned in Surah Al-A'raf 7:12, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? This was a chance to reflect, a chance to admit wrong, a chance to turn back. But instead of humility, Iblis doubled down. He justified himself. He defended his arrogance. And this is another dangerous psychological pattern. When people make a mistake, they have two choices. They can humble themselves, or they can justify themselves. Humility leads to growth. Justification leads to destruction. Iblis chose justification, and in doing so, he sealed his fate. Now here's something very important. The story of Iblis is not just about him. It is a mirror. It shows us a trait that can exist in anyone. It doesn't always look like someone saying, I'm better than you. Sometimes it looks like refusing advice. Sometimes it looks like ignoring truth. Sometimes it looks like thinking, I already know, even when deep down, you don't. And the scary part is this: a person can do good things and still have arrogance in their heart. Iblis worshipped Allah, but his heart had a hidden disease, and when the test came, that disease was exposed. This is why in Islam, the condition of the heart matters more than the appearance of actions, because actions can look good on the outside, while the inside is slowly being corrupted. It can hide behind confidence, behind knowledge, behind success. The second step is humility. Train yourself to accept correction, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, because that discomfort is often where growth begins. And the third step is remembering this truth. No matter how much you know, no matter how much you've done, you are always in need of guidance. The moment you feel above that, you are in danger. The story of Iblis is not just a story of the past. It is a warning for the present. Because the same arrogance that caused him to fall is the same arrogance that can exist in any heart today. So the next time you hear the truth and something inside you resists, pause. Don't react immediately. Ask yourself, is this the truth, or is this my ego speaking? Because that moment, that small moment, is where everything changes.